Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network. The broadcast shows are for informational and entertainment purposes only. They are not designed to provide listeners with specific personal, medical, or counseling advice. Individuals with a medical issue should always consult their healthcare provider. MS&Me is not responsible for content of individual shows. The views expressed by show hosts or their guests are their own. Enjoy the show.
What is up, my MS champions? It's your boy Chris Carter. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing well. Let's just jump right into today's topic. And today's topic is going to be my education versus my illness, and also talking about listening to my body versus my education. And I'm going to get right into that and explain what I mean. So, just yesterday, I was sitting in class. I had two classes, and I'm used to taking, since I've been back in school. Yesterday was the new semester, the beginning of the new semester, and I'm used to being in one class a day. And the last semester, I had a class Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and just one, and they were in the morning, and I got to go right home. So I tried to do two classes back to back. I didn't do that just to see if my body would be able to take it, but I just, I need that class that I need, the classes that I need. So it was more so of just doing what I have to do so I can hurry up and finish school faster. So the point that I'm getting ready to make is why why am I sitting through here knowing that my body is not saying shutting down, because shutting down has a different meaning to it, but my body is really, it feels like my body is rejecting sitting there. Just how if you're allergic to a certain food, say you're allergic to a pear, and you eat the pear, and say your allergic reaction is you vomit, that means your body is rejecting it. So it's not going to stay down in your digestive system. It's going to be brought back up. That way your body is going to release it. That's what in that I'm just comparing that in a weird way. That's what that felt like. I was in a lot of pain, a lot of excruciating pain from the time I got in the class, my first class. I really started to feel my symptoms and stuff. So that wasn't an issue because I feel symptoms every day. I've had a few days where I have bits of relief here and there, and I'm very blessed to have those. But just to be frank, I started to feel it more towards the end of the first class. Then I had a little break. I went to go grab some lunch, and then I really started to feel it. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, because I want to go home. And the first thing I want to do is I want to go home, drink my tea, and go in and get in the bed. And lately, the tea hasn't really been working for me, and my pain pills haven't been working for me. The infusion, let me explain this. The infusion does keep my inflammation down, and it's keeping the inflammation down, and it does keep the symptoms to a bare minimum from time to time. But another thing too, some people, I've had a few people ask me, so does your infusion medicine work? Yes, it does work, but I still have the illness, so there's still parts of the illness that are gonna be resonating in my body. So that's one thing I do want people to understand. Just because a treatment is working for somebody doesn't mean that they don't have the disease anymore. There's no cure for this. So I still had the disease, and I still go through the symptoms and the pain and everything that I was going through before. It's just not where I was in the beginning before I even started treatment. The Solumedrol and the Tysabri, that was the worst time ever, but I still have it. So sitting in the second class, after I ate lunch, going to the second class, I can tell you this: I don't remember a word that 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 my professor said, because I was in so much pain. My headache was, it was just pounding like lightning thunder, if that makes sense. Feel like somebody was squishing my head. My insides were on fire. My legs were killing me, my arms, and I just wanted to leave. And I just could I promise you, like maybe every 5 minutes, I'm looking at that clock. Please go. Please, time. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And luckily, he let us out about 5 minutes early. And trust me, that was the best thing he could have ever done for me, because the more I sat there, the more it was getting worse. And This is an issue that I had, something that I didn't want to talk about, but I'm going to speak about because it's real. I'm very blessed. I'm almost 23 years old to have the mother that I have. She is helping me along the way. She is the one paying for my education out of her own dime. She is helping me and paying my medical bills because I'm not working at the moment. When I was working, I didn't know I had MS. I'm pretty sure I did have it then because I had little, I had little symptoms, little mini minor attacks. Thinking about it now and thinking back to those days, I did have it, but not knowingly, and I wasn't at the point where I was in January of 2017. So I'm very blessed to have my mother, and my mother is helping me out tremendously. So, saying this to say, I didn't want to speak about this, but I'm going to speak about it. I filed for disability, and I got denied because when they look at your records, they see that you're responding well to treatment. Your MRI showed that you're doing well, so you should be able to go back to work. For me, the reason that I had filed for it, it wasn't just to lay on my back and collect a check at home. I promise you that wasn't the reason why. The reason why is because I can barely stand for more than 10 minutes. I always have to take a break. About 2 weeks ago, I was making some pancakes and I was trying to make a lot of them. It was horrible. When I got finished when I got finished with those pancakes and cooking them, I was in the most burning sensation kind of pain in my thighs because I can't stand but for so long because standing up hurts now. And that's another thing that I want that's one thing I wanted my neurologist to understand is it's just not easy for me to get up and go to anybody's job. And I promised myself I'm never going back to a retail job. The jobs that I was working after I had my last retail job was I was in an office of American Diabetes Association, which I loved working there. And then my contract ended, so I didn't get to stay there. So I was just working little mini assignments here and there in different offices, but that's what I wanted to do. But getting my education, that's very important and that's a number one priority for me in my life right now. But trying to work, trying to go to school, that's going to be a lot for me and be a lot on my body. So that was the reason why I was trying to file. I filed for disability thinking that I was going to get approved for that. And then my mother, she always tells me, don't worry about it. I have it. Like I said, I'm just very blessed to have her because without her, I don't know what I would do. And that's just in all honesty. I thank God for her every day because, a lot of people don't. This is not a bragging thing. This is being real. A lot of people don't have it that way. So I'm just very blessed and I can't imagine my life without her at this moment, especially going through this, you know. So when 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 that's all said and done, it's like, okay, my doctor, when I went to go talk to him about why I got denied for disability, I was very upset. And it takes a whole lot. I believe I've said this before in other segments. It takes a whole lot for me to get upset. And I was very upset that I got denied because he doesn't understand and he feels as though it's always an emotional thing. No, I have an autoimmune disease. Yes, that causes emotional distress on me and I get sad here and there and I'm always thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. How am I going to feel tomorrow? Am I going to be able to walk tomorrow? Is my leg going to cooperate? Just different things. But that was something serious. I needed that help for myself. I'm almost 23 years old. I don't want to depend on my mother. It's not bothering me that my mother is helping me, but I do want to be independent and when I was working, she wasn't giving me anything. So it was just and then that's what I think about. I'm like, I went from working every day or at least getting mini job assignments here and there, getting my own money to trying to put my own money aside. Now I can't really do that. And that's really a struggle that's in my mind. And that sometimes puts me at my illness versus my education versus what's kind of going on in my mind because it's been last semester, I I I loved school last semester, but it was a couple moments where I had when I was telling myself, I'm like, I think I'm gonna drop out again and I'm just gonna go work full time because not having my own money, I don't like that feeling at all. I don't. And again, my mother said not to worry about anything, not to worry about it. But I just miss doing things for myself. And I still do things for myself, but it's just different, now for me. And sitting in that classroom in pain, and then what if I, trying to go get a job, that again, that puts me at the education versus the illness, the job versus the illness. And am I going to listen to my body and I'm just going to, oh no, I can fight through this. Let's push through it because as stated in other segments before, I tell myself, and I think I've said, let's push through it. Let's always fight. But it's just not always that easy. It's not. And it makes me very, it was confusing at first because I remember thinking myself, I remember a day I laid in my bed and just asking myself, what am I going to do? Because I got denied at excuse me, of this disability check. I can barely stand up, but for so long, my back, my pain, everything that I have to deal with that goes on the inside of my body, you know, and then a job can put a lot of stress on you. So I wasn't trying to take the easy way out. Like I said before, I was working before I knowingly had MS. So that working is not ever a problem. And working is something that I love to do. Making money, that's something that I love to do, to be able to do something for myself, and I have dreams and aspirations. And so that's another thing that puts me at the dream versus the illness sometimes. I thought about that yesterday. I'm like, I have this dream, and the dream that I actually have, I think I believe you actually have to stand up. But I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more on my YouTube channel. But I know for a fact I'm gonna use a stool. I'm gonna sit down and use a stool, and you're gonna understand more when I speak about it. So when it's all said and done, I've decided, especially after yesterday, I'm going to listen to my body. I'm not listening to what anyone has to say, and I promise myself that I'm going to listen to what my body is telling me. If I feel like it's becoming too much, then I'm going to know that it's too much and I'm going to pull myself out of the situation. Going forward, I don't care what my neurologist has to say, though I appreciate him from the bottom of my heart. I do. But you're not going to tell me what I need to do for my body. You're not. That's not something that I'm going to accept. That's not something that I'm going to allow. It just can't happen, because what will happen is if I start to make myself worse, then my doctor is going to probably look at me and say, this is what I find to be true. I don't know any situation that has ever happened like this, but I guarantee you situations have happened like this. You push through as they tell you to. You work yourself to death. You go to school, you get your education, you do all of that throughout all your symptoms, throughout all your pain, and then your body can't take it anymore. Then your doctor's going to say, why did you push yourself to that point? Because you were always telling me to push through it. So that's exactly what I did. But you have to be realistic with me. I need a break at times. It's not always that easy. And that is a very emotional thing for me, because this is going to be the word. Versus is the word. Education versus the illness. I'm like, do I want to stay home? Because from now on, I've just emailed my teacher. Well, excuse me, not my professor. I emailed the counselor. She's very, very kind and very helpful, and she said I can drop the class and I can just swap it, and I'll be able to register for the online business class. That's what I have to do, because I can't sit through two classes. And there my first class, which is an art ceramics class, which I am so excited to be taking. That class is almost, that's 2.5 hours. So I can't, it's not going to work. And then go sit in another class, it's just not going to work. My body can't take all that moving, all that walking. That's why I stay home a lot of the times. When I went to the club for my best friend's uncle's birthday, and by the end of the night, I was in so much pain. And I'm not blaming him because I chose to go, because I could have said no. But, and I enjoyed myself, but that I just know, especially like my body is really going through a major change. And so I have to listen to my body. But by the end of the night, when we started getting ready to leave, that's when it was coming. So we kind of left at right at a perfect time. And they're so helpful. They're so kind to me. My best friend, both of my best friends and her uncle, they looked out for me and they asked me questions. Are you okay? But another thing that really changed for me and really made me think how much my life has changed is when we were there. Most of the time, I got up and danced, and my best friend was like, "Chris, get up, dance with us," and stuff. I danced, and we jamming to the music, and we got to request songs, and I danced to the songs that I requested. But I sat on this booth, on this stool, like up against the little railing, or it was my back up to it, and I'm like, wow, I really can't stand up and dance anymore. It hurts so badly. And it just reminds me of, again, the word is versus what I have to do for myself. My health versus fun. My health versus the dream. My health versus the education. And I promise you, I'm not telling anyone else to do this, but if I have to, it will happen. If I have to I'm going to go after my degree as hard as I can. But if I have to take a break because of my body, it will happen. And it will happen at my own pace, because I'm not going to rush through my symptoms. I'm just not going to do it. This disease takes a lot out of me every day. As I'm speaking, I'm very fatigued. I'm feeling pain. It's not easy. So, but I always look at the good thing about it. I still get to walk with my illness. I still have my vision. My vision came back. As I lost my vision in my right eye, I'm still blessed to have what I have and everything around me. So I'm never going to take that for granted, but I'm not going to be delusional about my situation either. Because and what kind of confused me was, you know, I my neurologist, and I'm not downplaying my neurologist. I don't ever want anyone to think that. But what kind of confused me is, they tell you, like doctors, I'm not speaking about my neurologist at this point, but people and neurologists tell you, you can do it, don't give up, but don't push your body to its limits. But what do they consider to be our limits? What do they consider to be too much for us? Because we can't we have to fight through a lot of things every day. So when our body starts to reject something, what is going to happen? What can be done? What what is the best thing for us at the moment? you know, and saying that to say, I'm going to, from this day forward, listen to my body. If I can't go somewhere, I've already been making that decision. I can't do what I used to do. Things I can't, days I can't even walk up the street. And I love walking. Like, I used to be able to walk. Like, I love walking. And I still do, but it hurts. That's the real of it. It hurts. my it, it's just symptom after symptom, and days where I can't take it, days I just want to lay in the bed. And lately I've been trying to exercise, trying to stretch, but that hurts. And I want to talk about that with some more of my other fellow MS warriors, because I know, and I see a lot of people. I see a lot of people with MS are in the gym exercising, but with me, it's just not that easy. And I don't want to seem like I'm making an excuse, but I'm being honest. It's not that easy. And if I'm always in pain and I'm trying to lift a weight, what is that gonna do? I know they say push through it, and the more you do it, the more it'll get better. But I want to exercise when the pain has subsided a whole lot, not just a bit, but a whole lot, because I don't want to exercise where I'm in pain. But then with me, once I finish exercising, I know you're sore, but I do know soreness from my illness. I know how to tell the difference. And nobody isn't going to tell me, oh no, you're just feeling the aftermath of the exercising. No, 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 no. You're not going to tell me that. I know my body. I know my body better than you do. So it's always a thing with me now, a versus kind of situation. Am I going to put my education versus my health? I'm not. And some may call me crazy for that, and I'm not discouraging anybody, because I went to the dentist. It was somewhere in April of 2017. I had only been diagnosed for about 2 months at that point. And I went with my grandfather. He had to get a tooth extracted, and the dentist, both the ladies there, I know them. Like, my grandfather's been going to this dentist since I was a tot, so, and like since the 90s, before I was even born. So when we went in there, I told them what had been going on with me, and the lady had told me her daughter has lupus, and her daughter got her education through all of that. And I'm not gonna go into, I don't really want to go into detail to, like, go too far, but she did say she had kidney failure, and the kidney failed again, but she still graduated, and that motivated me, and it still motivates me to get my education. But when my body, like, I commend that young lady for doing that. And but when my body is telling me something, and then I'm about to keep going and keep going and keep going, at some point it's gonna be a wall crumbling down. And I just can't have that. I can't do that. I refuse to do that. That goes beyond what I know. And something that I believe with myself, and I'm talking about within my illness, when I know better, I'll do better. If I know eating a whole bunch of steak, or eating steak, will cause me inflammation and have me flare it up, but I'm still going to eat it anyway, that's on me. So I know better, so therefore I'm going to do better when it all comes down to steak. I know better than to eat that. I know better than to put anything that's not going to help my body in my system. So, in closing, I just want to say I'm very blessed to be able to get my education, because a lot of people don't have the opportunity to go to college. So I'm very blessed at that point, and I'm always going to count my blessings. That's one thing I do every day. I count my blessings. I try not to look at my disease every day. But, you know, especially after yesterday, it was kind of hard for me, because and this is just the real of it. When I look in the mirror, sometimes I'm like, I see Chris. I'm not a boy who like sulks or anything. That's just not me. But, like I said, this is the real of it. When I look in the mirror, sometimes I don't see Chris. Sometimes I see the disease. You can't see the disease because it's on the inside. But what I see is a young boy, a young man, a grown man who's dealing with this the best way he can, and trying to find his way to make his dreams come true. That's all I want to do. So that sometimes puts me at another confusion. If I look in the mirror, or if I think about this illness all the time and what it will do in the future, how is this going to affect my dreams? So do I really have to put my illness before everything, you know? But I know I have to. That's out of the question. But it gets hard to do that. I want to live my dreams, and I pray every day I'm working towards my dream. I'm putting money aside now. I want to be the best man that I can be. I want to raise the awareness that I have. I want to start my own organization, have my own marathons, do everything that I can for my fellow MS warriors. Because, like I said, this is the worst thing that has ever happened to me, but this disease is the best thing that has ever happened to me. It's opened my eyes up to so many things, and I don't know what I'd do without this disease. And that's crazy to say, but I really am taking life more serious now. And another thing that I've said before, I didn't know how important an education was until I got this illness, you know? So I'm not quitting, but if I ever have to take some time off for it, it will happen. It definitely will happen. People can't people can't put me at a rush, and don't let anyone tell you what you should do for yourself, my fellow MS warriors. Remember, you're in control. You know your body the best way you know your body. You know what's best for you. So you guys can message me at my social media, which is, again, I always say this, at Young MS Warrior. Young is spelled regular because, in this day and age we use slang, but Young is spelled regular, MS Warrior. And my YouTube channel is the same thing, Young MS Warrior. I will be filming a vlog today and talking about a little bit more. And thank you guys for tuning in to MS Champion Radio. Let's do this. Let's fight.